Hello, everybody. You are watching DS Tech Media. I am Jay, and here we are back with another wonderful video. A distro review, in fact. We're going to be looking at Pop! OS 2204. Oh, and we're here in the new studio for the first time. Bear with me. I'm working on temporary setup because I can't commit to anything, including moving into my new studio entirely. Pop! OS is a unique Linux distribution by System 76. And if you're not familiar, System 76 is sort of the premier provider of Linux hardware such as laptops, desktops, all the way up to high-end server hardware. Pop! OS is based on Ubuntu, designed specifically for PCs. It's been out for a few years now, and despite the considerable amount of buzz, I've kind of largely ignored it. I was under the impression that Pop! OS was just another Ubuntu derivative. And I also wanted to test Pop! OS out on actual hardware. Normally I would install on a VM, but in this case we have it installed on a Dell Precision M4700 workstation class laptop. I think the most surprising thing about Pop! OS 2204 is actually what is missing. So we're gonna run through the setup here. First off, we've got the dock options, no dock, or extend the dock. I prefer it does not. Configure top bar to show workspace button. I'm gonna keep it centered. Press the super key or use an icon in the dock display launcher search field. That would be this. And use gestures for easier navigation. Okay, that is not working for me, but this is an older laptop, so that could be why. Switch between light and dark modes. Definitely is gonna stick with the dark, things. We're gonna leave that off. Time zone. Your online accounts. Yeah, we're gonna skip all that for now. Done. Start using Pop! OS, and we hope you love it. And some people have said Pop! OS has taken up the torch Ubuntu dropped when it comes to the desktop, because since System 76 ships Pop! OS on all of their hardware, they have a strong incentive to make a very appealing, reliable operating system. Everything's running very smoothly using the integrated webcam. I'm recording audio, recording the screen with relative ease. Let's go ahead and switch over to the external display. So, some of the features that make Pop! OS unique. First off, they offer an image that comes pre-configured with NVIDIA drivers. So if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you will have working drivers out of the box. They also have better support for hybrid graphics. It gives you the option to launch applications like Blender with your discrete graphics if you have integrated graphics along with a graphics card. I've seen a lot of people talk about how they use Pop! OS specifically for that reason. Despite being based on Ubuntu, Pop! OS still manages to integrate new features before Ubuntu does for certain things. Most notably, a slightly newer kernel, ship Linux kernel 5.16, which is slightly newer than the current Ubuntu 2204 kernel. This is Radeon Top, so you can see my Radeon graphics working. So that is pretty good. I don't have any available, but there are built-in automatic firmware updates. You can upgrade the OS offline, and they've even added a recovery partition, and there's the refresh OS option that keeps user accounts and files but restores the OS to its original state that you'd expect from any serious operating system. The Cosmic Desktop is no longer a vanilla GNOME experience, but we've got kind of a custom application launcher. We've got 4 primary tabs here. I really like this option down here to create a new tab. So I can create this tab, add applications here if I want. Image viewer, drag that down to graphics, and now it's in the tab. Nice touch. I like that a lot. As far as the applications that come installed, there's nothing really out of the ordinary here except for their app store or Pop Shop. They do ship Eddy for installing deb files. We've got Geary as the default mail client, which I actually use. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if we open an app that's not in the pinned apps on the dash down here, there's a little divider at the end where your open apps appear. I really like that. This extensions app contains all of the Cosmic extensions. So we've got Cosmic Dock, Cosmic Workspace, Desktop Icons, Pop Cosmic, the main interface components, Pop Shell, System 76, Power Management, and Ubuntu App Indicators. And if you have hybrid graphics with NVIDIA, you'd have these options. I have an Intel and AMD set up, and those options are missing for me. I guess they haven't figured that out yet. So the other unique aspect is the Pop Shop. Their own custom shop, and if we go and we look for something like GIMP. With GIMP, there are deb and Flatpak versions of GIMP. What I really like is that we can choose between the two here. In the newer versions of Ubuntu, the Ubuntu Software Center only lets you do snap repositories. They give you a little explanation of the software down here. You can send feedback, get help, a link to the homepage. They also show the licenses. And here under Steam, basically like a rating system, we go over to the installed tab. You can do updates from here as well. Even see the improvements and update individually if you so choose. Your graphics drivers and extensions and so forth are all handled through the Pop Shop. So some other interesting features of the desktop itself. Hit the super key, we get this switcher / launcher. If we scroll up and down through these, you can see the highlights of the windows, and then we can just bring them up by selecting them. Also, we can open up all the other applications by just simply typing in for them. If we hit Super A, it opens the applications menu, and then Super D gives us overview of all of the open applications and workspaces. If we do Control Super up or down, we can switch through the workspaces. If we want to move a window between workspaces, it's Super Shift and up or down. It's kind of a unique way to handle the window manager. It kind of reminds me of how Elementary OS does it with Gala. But that's not all. Probably the most unique feature is this little icon up here. Pop! OS includes a tiling window manager. They have a shortcuts list for all of the shortcuts included up here. Also have show active hint, change the active hint color, but to enable tiling mode, click that slider and you can see the icon changes to tiling. So if you're not aware, in tiling mode, Windows automatically take up a certain amount of the screen to maximize real estate. And in a traditional tiling window manager, you wouldn't be able to move them with a mouse, but Pop! OS manages to make that possible. While in tiling mode, if we do super plus enter, it turns on adjustment mode. That lets us cycle through where we want the window to go. While in adjustment mode, if we do shift plus arrow, we can resize the window without breaking it out of its tiling position. If we do control plus arrow, we can actually swap windows. Super plus O changes the orientation of the tiling, and if we do super plus G, it moves windows in and out of floating, and also you can reattach. But then if we do super plus S, we've now turned a window into a stack of windows. And if I do super enter arrow, we can add those windows to the stack. Alright, so now let's go ahead and open the text editor. Okay. It's so awesome to be able to do that. It's really cool. And then if we want to cancel having a stack, it's just super enter again, and it's that easy. Takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's not all that difficult. It's a lot of fun actually. And for the text editor, we've got gedit. And this is a really cool feature. I really like this. This is something I think appeals to people that have been using Linux for a while, who might want to have this sort of functionality built into their desktop. I've tried tiling window managers. I even did a video on Hash Linux distro, which is all about pre-made tiling window managers. I think that project's actually dead now. So as I said in the introduction, one of the most interesting things about Pop! OS wasn't what's installed, but actually what's missing. When I started doing this video, I was originally using just my GoPro, and I was doing screen capture with my AverMedia Live Gamer portable and using my Rode Video microphone. But I really wasn't happy with the audio, so I decided to bring my actual microphone over from the other studio and started installing all of the things that I use in my studio toolchain in the other room. The jack audio connection kit, CAF jack host for running my audio processing, and I normally use Pulse Audio modules, so I did sudo apt install Pulse Audio module jack, and I was blown away to find out Pulse Audio isn't installed. It was then that I realized that Pipewire is installed. So if you're unfamiliar, Pipewire is a project designed to greatly improve the handling of audio and video under Linux and basically handle everything Pulse Audio and Jack currently do, but it can also work with both Pulse Audio and Jack. I'm not going to go into everything that they all do. If you want to see that, I have a guide to Linux music and audio production and recording video that I'll shamelessly plug here. But needless to say, I had zero experience with Pipewire. So I took to Twitter where I tweeted and ended up getting a response from Aaron Honeycutt, who is apparently an employee of System 76, and he recommended Helvum, a patch bay for Pipewire, available as a Flatpak, and I went ahead and installed that. I also managed to install Pulse Audio volume control. So yeah, when I first started Helvum up and saw these connections, I was pretty overwhelmed. I didn't like it because it was new and this seemed more complicated, and I didn't understand why all these Pulse Audio connections were here. Then I just closed Pulse Audio volume control and all of that disappeared, and I realized that it actually wasn't as complicated as I thought, and it was mostly just the Pulse Audio connections that I didn't understand. Everything that was showing up here was Pulse Audio interacting with Pipewire, and all of this stuff is the jack interfaces interacting with Pipewire, because I have Jack running and CAF Jack host running. But there is some extra stuff here. We've got this MIDI bridge, which is probably ALSA. QJack control shows up here, but it has no inputs or outputs. There's a dummy driver and a freewheel driver. I'm not quite sure what that is. And in the end, it's actually a little bit simpler than Jack, technically. So here you can see the same thing in QJack controls graph connections. But yeah, I was really glad that I ended up having to use my real microphone, because if I wouldn't have done that, it wouldn't have even come to my attention. So to the average person, they won't even notice that Pipewire is present on their machine. And now that I've used in the recording of this video, you can see that it's actually a lot simpler and a good improvement over running everything out from Jack to Pulse, etc. and so forth. If I actually wanted to send audio from Jack out to another device, it's as simple as running this into the playback of this 92 HD93 analog. That's the laptop's integrated speakers. So pretty excited about Pipewire. I'm glad that it's included. So anyways, everyone, that's Pop! OS. I think System 76 has done a pretty awesome job. I'd highly recommend this to a new Linux user. It's perfectly functioning, user-friendly operating system. Tiling Window Manager is pretty fun. I definitely like that. I think I will be running Pop! OS on probably this computer into the future. And it's not every day that I try a distro out and want to continue using it. The only criticism I have, I'd like to see those hybrid graphics options that are available for Intel and NVIDIA combos available on hardware like this. And it would be awesome if I could just switch between those two. There's no way, as far as I can see, to use my integrated Intel graphics. So it'd be nice to have that option for us AMD graphics users. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're at it, because there's lots of great content coming. Always working hard to expand and grow the channel. We're in the new studio. It's not done yet. It's gonna be awesome. So you're gonna want to see what happens. But yeah, hit the subscribe, or if you're on Odyssey, Rumble, or BitChute, maybe subscribe over there. We've got lots of other awesome Linux videos, guides to music and audio on Linux, etc. and so forth. I thank you for taking the time to watch. For DS Tech Media, I'm Jay, and I'll see you in the next one.